I mean, I'm coming at photography from a different direction. I love the medium, and I love using a camera. For this body of work, I don't use a camera. Instead, I use studio material and existing media. And I pass this media through the filter in my studio. But I believe it's the same practice in that it allows me to slow down time for a greater understanding. And I think photography as a whole begins and ends at this place. And with this body of work, I'm using the studio as a darkroom, but in a non-traditional sense. And I'm redeveloping this media, recirculating it. So it's captured in a similar way as a photograph, but the end result is very different. This chapter of work I'm developing is called Held Up by Columns. It begins with a newspaper, and I've collected newspapers from around the world, and I soak all the existing ink and paper in a crystalline bath. And when I do this, the ink loosens off the paper and begins to grow inside of these crystals. And it almost redistributes the composition into an abstract drawing or abstract painting, and that's kind of where my work comes into play. With the medium, I'm recirculating, and in the end they become these twisted remnants of daily life, or the daily time is entering a larger geologic timeline. And this chapter and another chapter of work called Flood grew out of this idea of recirculation. Flood marks a point of no return in my mind. It's a deluge of catastrophic result, and I did this in my studio with my own personal library. I released this flood using the solution, and I submerged all the books in my collection, destroying them and forming them into something else. And I used the architecture and information of these books as raw material. And I grew these compositions of crystals and color from all the existing ink. I want to republish these books so they exist in a purely visual system.